Heyo, my Planet Coaster friends, Johnny5 Alive here, and welcome to the first ever scenario spotlight, and I am joined here with Wikz.
Hey guys.
And in today's video, we're going to be looking at Sherwood Forest Scenario Park, created by Wikz, and he's my special guest, so stay tuned, and let's check it out. Alright, so this was sent in by one of our Discord legend builders and golden patrons. Thank you so much for your support, Wikz.
You are welcome, Johnny.
And he says here, "Hey Johnny, here's my first try on a scenario, and I think it turned out great, and this scenario is all about caring for the nature, but still have to create a thrilling theme park. And I've always been a big fan of a good view, so I made a platform that gives you a whole overview of the park, but it's then up to the person to create what kind of view he wants. In that, I feel like this scenario is interesting to play and offers different aspects of the game, Wikz." And so everybody knows we do have a scenario contest going right now, and this is kind of like an example based off of those rules. So while it may be the first ever scenario spotlight, this one has certain parameters. So there are certain things we asked for in the contest, certain amount of space to build on, some flat rides and ride skins, and one main attraction. So Wikz kind of followed our criteria to build kind of an example of what we're looking for. We're going to be featuring this as the first ever scenario spotlight, but also as an example of what we're looking for from the contest, and there's still 2 weeks left on the contest at the time of this recording. So if you guys watch this and you're competing in the contest, you might be able to get a little bit of inspiration from it, or go back and touch some things up, or just clarify that you've done things properly. Right, Wikz?
Yes.
And I think what we're also going to do for these submissions is everybody that competes in the contest will likely be a scenario spotlight, rather than, we don't usually do that when I do coaster contests. We just feature them as contest videos. They don't go into the spotlight. So we might do things a little bit differently just to get the scenario platform built up a little bit. And then from there in the future, after the contest is done, we will be featuring these scenarios as regular spotlights, and hopefully learning a good format to how to do that through this one here today. So let's just dive right on into it, shall we?
Yes, let's do that.
So when you load it up here, guys, it says Sherwood Forest Park, 3 stars to fill in here. Sherwood Forest has always been calm and quiet, but society felt something was missing. The view, the attractions. Can you help the society to make a theme park and give them a beautiful view?
Yeah.
Boom. All right. And we push play here, and the guests start rolling in. So the first thing we see here is a nice little parking lot. Very nice.
Yeah, I didn't go very crazy on the entrance, because I kind of feel like it was part of a nature park. So
right. I still think it looks great coming through here. It's beautiful. Custom lampposts. I really like the decorations of your buildings as well. So we got a little shopping area. Now, the thing about this, when you're doing a scenario, you want to leave a lot of open space, and Wikz has done that in the back end. So as we come in here, we do have a little mini park, but you don't really have anywhere to build. This is mainly what he's designed as your starter area. So to attract the guests and to make some money, this is part of the scenario, is he's going to have some shops for you, which you see here. So there's going to be, the guests can have something to eat, and then you have a ride over here. And for our contest or competitors, this is kind of like a ride skin that matches his scenario. Doesn't want to do something too crazy, but have something that fits the beauty of the nature. So it's just all made out of wood with ropes holding it up against some custom lampposts, and that's quite nice and fitting, right?
And I kind of like it. I kind of like the way it ended up.
Looks great. And then you don't want to make something overly eccentric that doesn't match your buildings and your scenario theme. So you can see here, everything here is just like cabins, or what do you want to call them, resort buildings. And yeah, and it fits nice and cozy in the middle of a forest. So everything is nature based, but he's also made his buildings have a certain style, but also his ride skins and his decorations. So here everything is about the view. So little back pathways and decorations back here, little pond. Everywhere you go, all the buildings that you go to visit, you always have a nice view, and that's the essence of his scenario, is trying to capture the beauty of a park, kind of like a nature valley park. So here we have a path going up. Now, do you want to talk about this? Because when you showed this to me a couple of weeks ago, and then you decided to start building a path up here. So
yeah, you kind of gave me the idea in my head that I should make something on top of the hill. So I kind of got into a little brainstorming, and I found out a good way to get that overview of the park in good ways. So
yeah, and to elaborate on that, what's really cool is the Vista point that he chose. So there are Vista points up here. Now the Vista point came out the day after I announced the contest, and it would have been a nice bonus feature. But if you guys, I did mention this in Discord and stuff. It's always good to add a Vista point to your scenarios, in my opinion, because as you can see from here, we can see the little starter park that he's built for us. If we go over to this one, we can see the expansion areas that he's allowing us to build at. So when you do have a thriving park over here and here, you're going to see bits of it from this Vista point, as well as over here. You can see all this backlot area that's going to be one day a thriving theme park that you guys built. But as we can see, there's another little starter area down here. Now you also did this pathway because the employees can't quite navigate this park if it was train only, right?
Yeah, that was one of the reasons too. So yeah, I had to make a pathway from the other city to the other, or over the mountain, so they didn't quit it and then they just walked around being sloppy. But
your original concept, you wanted it so that it takes the guests over to your new expansion area, right?
Exactly.
But you can't necessarily do that. And we were talking, this would have been really cool if they added in a feature where you could put barriers down where only employees would walk through them. That way, the guests would be forced to take trams, but the employees could still navigate the park. That would be an absolutely amazing feature. If we could just click the barrier and toggle guest only or employee only, that would be amazing, right?
That would be a very nice feature to get in this game.
So which way does your train run? Does it run clockwise?
Yes, it does.
So
no, it doesn't. No, it doesn't. Sorry, it's my bad. I'm seeing
counterclockwise. So we get on this train and it takes us down this way, right?
Yes, exactly.
And your first stop is, if we jump over here, boom, we got a waterfall, a big lake, and then it comes out of this tunnel here. So takes us over this nice little custom bridge you've made with a great view yet again. So if you're looking off the sides of the train, you're going to see all that. And here is your real estate. This is where you guys are going to build your parks. And he's made a nice little stop over here. So if you were to play this scenario, one of the first places you would probably want to build is here. And then if you want, you could always add in another stop. But there's another stop over here, which is a good distance. And the guests can walk in between once you start filling. So you can build there, or you can even choose to build here, or just a little bit there and a little bit here. And then you just expand them closer and closer together. Now this little area, is it there are a couple shops in here, or is it empty? Just scenery?
There is a shop, and then there are a toilet and a staff room.
So this is where the staff room is, somewhere around here.
I think it's in this building. This is the street coffee.
This one.
Yeah. Yes.
Very cool. So that was one of the things we asked for was what was it? At least 3 custom shops or something. So Wikz has built a staff as one of his shops, and then he built a coffee shop. But we also said you could have as many shops as you want, and that's what he did over here inside your building. So it's almost like a little shopping mall, and some benches up top, and the guests can come down here and eat and check out the view. So I guess one thing we got to do is we got to look at your objectives. You want to talk about them? We'll go over the easy one first.
Yeah, I mean, when I took the objectives, I was like, kind of, what could I do in this scenario, and what could I go through? Mm-hmm. So I was like, I took my own. I didn't expect anyone that are good at coasters, so I just put it at a 6.0 excitement, because I can get a coaster to get up there.
Mm-hmm.
So
That's fair.
And then I took the janitors as kind of like the main objective, because I made the guests being like very, very litter bugs, so they're like
You made the back end thing you told as traits. You said they're going to be litter bugs.
Yeah, exactly. And then
That's
I made
very cool.
and then I made the janitors more like they only want to work more if they get the right amount of salary, and they get. So it's kind of like you have, even though you have to have a thrilling theme park, you also have to keep the park clean at all time, because it's like a nature park. So
and that plays well into your whole theme. You want it to be a nature valley experience, and in order to have a nice view, you want no trash. But you've made it difficult to do that because the janitors want a certain amount of money, and the guests are litter bugs.
Exactly.
That's cool, and that's a nice way that we were asking people, like, it's not very easy to come up with a theme or objectives that match your scenario, but we did want to give people bonus points, and we have a little bit of criteria for the people that think outside of the box, and this is a good example of that I feel like the janitor system, the litter bugs, that kind of back end stuff ties in really well with your overall theme, so that's cool.
Yeah, and I found out that the rides you already have in your scenario already counts on the objectives.
Oh.
So it was like I had to go in all the time and like put the rides up. So like
building
when
5 rides is technically build 2 more.
Exactly.
Right.
So it's yeah.
So you started them with 1 janitor.
Yeah, that is.
Yeah, he's got to walk from here to here. Now, there is no way to get over here technically, right? So
no, not yet.
So people will be required to kind of... So maybe this would be the better area to start from, because they can actually get here, and then you can path and connect over to here. All right?
Yeah, I mean, it's up to people. I mean, I was...
Or you
when
can
I
do
made
your
it,
own path.
Yeah, that too.
Yeah, no, that's an interesting part of the scenario as well, is how do you want to get your guests from point A to B? And you've given them the starting with just this little area here, but you've left them to have to come up with something unique on their own. So they could tunnel through the hill or the mountain, or they could go over it and create another vista point over here if they want.
Yeah.
Very
cool. I think it gave a lot of opportunities to like, and then I didn't do anything about like unlock any research or anything. So I just thought that people should build whatever they want to build, either way, if it's a coaster or.
So for your medium, you got more janitors, 9 rides, so that would be, you got to build 5 more, and then build 2 coasters. Does it count the first coaster you build?
Yeah. Exactly.
So build another coaster and sustain a monthly profit from rides of 11,500 for 10 months. So once you get them rides going, you got to sustain. That's pretty cool.
Exactly. And then afterwards, you then can. I was guessing when you can have that in 10 months, then you will probably could afford to pay off the loans, which is in when you have to do that in the hard mode or in hard objective.
Okay, how do we? Let's see here. Park management, finances, loans. So we have loans already.
Yeah, you have loan when you get in the game, and you have to pay
20% interest on 10,000. And how much money did you start us with? 10,000. So that was the starting money was a loan,
Exactly.
and then there was $4,000 spent already, and then you have to pay those off. Okay, that's pretty cool.
Yeah, so I thought that was kind of like a nice objective to like end it all. So like if you can pay all the loans, then you probably have a nice running theme park.
And then you want an exciting coaster of 7 and a total of 4, and then you train 12 janitors to master. So you're gonna have to get those janitors trained up. So it's gonna train. This objective is gonna get you to get a lot of janitors at a certain wage, and then master them.
Exactly.
But if you increase them to master, they're going to want more money. So you're going to have to definitely be able to afford your janitors. But with all the amount of walking you do, you're going to have certain janitors covering certain areas. So you probably have a lot more than 12 by the time you're done.
Oh yeah, definitely. I mean, and you just have to like it doesn't have to have like if you have 20, then it doesn't have to be all 20 you have to master. It's only 12.
All right. This is what I like about this one is the fact that you extended the building area over here, but you have this nice starting area over here, and I quite like that because I see this like it gives me an idea of what I should build and gets me thinking creatively, and I can look at yours and get an example. And you have these blueprints in a collection, right?
Yes.
So I can continue to use these buildings and make more towns over here. So that was something that we were talking about with our contest. We wanted people to provide us with collections. Anything that they built for their scenario and used for their scenario that was all custom, it's turned into a collection. So as you can see here, we have this nice little town here. And now you might not be skilled enough, or maybe you don't want to build more of these kinds of buildings and you don't want to try and replicate that. Well, Wikz has provided a collection to get you started, kind of like a starter kit. And that was something we asked for with our scenario contest, because we want people to just get playing your scenarios right away. And we want people to put things down but have them also aesthetically pleasing. So how do you do that without spending hours and hours and hours building all these blueprints? Well, I think that's what's cool about the starter kit, is it suggests to you all the different things that would go well in this park, right?
Yeah.
So he has his own collection and then kind of like a starter kit, so you could just subscribe to all, and then you're like, okay, I'm going to come over here and build this area, and you have all the blueprints you need to kind of make this nice little resort. And then you can add your own stuff in a coaster over here, and you have all this real estate around this nice lake. And you, no matter where you're building, you have a nice view of where you came from, and and then once you've finished there, you get a look at what you built from this vista point. So it serves kind of two purposes, right?
Yeah, and I really like it. It's really cool that the people go up there and take their smartphones out and take a picture.
Oh, they take their smartphones out?
Yeah, it's kind of cool.
I didn't notice that. I've never really got to see. Oh, here we go. That's great. I haven't seen the vistas in action yet, so that's really cool. If you guys are doing scenarios for our contest, you still have 2 weeks left, so maybe consider trying to find the best spot of your park and adding in a vista point, because I definitely think that adds some charm to it. However, it's not necessary, and I think for Wikz's, this is kind of like a key feature in some cases. You know what I mean? Because it's like an attraction. For a nature park, what you want to be thinking about is the views. So I think this plays really well with your scenario, and other scenarios a vista point might not necessarily work. So not every scenario needs one, but I think yours, it works really well here. So let's talk about the main attraction, because we asked everyone to do one main attraction, and you chose to do the transport ride.
Yeah, because as we all know, I'm not the coaster guy, so I prefer just making some sort of a transport ride. Or I was thinking of taking the auto cars and then use it at some kind of a main attraction, like an old barn that was ripped off, and then they built a car ride in it or something. But that idea I got away from soon, or what I mean, very quick. So I just ended up building a train station, and then I was like, then you build it all around. Mm-hmm. I actually only started with one station at the main thing,
right?
Because I was just like, it's just supposed to be like a sightseeing tour, but.
Yeah, and what it actually turned into is actually kind of cool, because, yeah, you don't really want your guests, walking all the way around. So you give them maybe a free transport ride or a cheap transport ride, and they get around, because it's such a long distance that they have to go. They get to take the transport ride. And what I like about this is this one is actually closed for now. So you will kind of be incentivized to just start building here. And when you're ready, you can open this one up by connecting the queue and the exit, and then it'll start dropping people. But it'll just skip this stop and take them right back in. So you can expand there. You're going to definitely need a way to get your workers over there and your guests on foot as a secondary option if they don't feel like paying for the ride. So that's going to be a lot of investment, especially with the loans that you have. So you're gonna need, you know, to buy all this pathing to take them over here, maybe build some bridges, and you know, and then you're gonna want to start decorating and building stuff over here. So in order to do that, you're gonna have to have a nice purse. You're gonna be able to spend some money to do that. Once you're ready, you can open that one up. So something to keep in mind, guys, if you're doing a scenario, it's probably a good idea to build islands or lakes or different areas that you can have a preset transport ride to, and then just have them closed, and then allow the people to expand to them when they feel ready. And I quite like that idea. So let's give your main attraction a ride.
Yeah. If we can get a nice... Yeah, the reason also why I closed the other station was it kept on breaking down. Because the train got over there, so, and then I had to like put a mechanic over there, and then
there would be nowhere for the guests to go if they got off there too.
Yeah, exactly. So I just kind of like, okay, yeah, it's gonna be closed, and then yeah, people can open it when they feel it's the time to do it.
All right, all aboard. I like the station too, by the way.
Thank you.
Custom tunnel all the way through. I like that.
Yeah, I kind of just I want to have something, but I know it is kind of plain, but it is a scenario.
It's better than just dirt all the way through.
Yeah, yeah. But it's a long tunnel, this one.
Oh yeah. Alright, here we go. So we should have a nice view on the right here of the lake.
Yeah, that's one of the best views I like.
Now, is there anything behind the scenes that you did other than the litter bugs and the janitors demanding a certain of pay?
I didn't really change the other employee stuff. Only I think I also made the guests be like they're not afraid of spending money. So like,
okay.
So that's why also that the sustain a monthly profit in 10 months should be possible.
Now, did you tweak any of the settings between adults, teens, and families or anything like that? Because one thing I think could work really well on this scenario is making it so it's very family friendly. Like a majority is families with kids and stuff, and also a cool one could have been they really want to go on gentle rides, because I could see there being a lot of gentle rides in this sort of a scenario.
Yeah. I mean, I think I made the the bully thing. You know, you can put like a percentage of when they spawn. Like every 10 person or guest should be a bully or something. I changed that to like, I don't know,
a bully.
Low, so yeah, you know, the people that are making that destroy the benches and stuff.
Oh, like vandals and stuff.
Yeah, those. Yeah.
So there will be you will have a high demand for security.
No, I mean, as I said, I put that very low, so it's like
low.
Yeah, so they're like.
I actually like that. I mean, it actually does play with your scenario very well, because it's you don't want broken benches everywhere, but at the same time, you don't want security cameras everywhere, right? It's too high tech. If you have security cameras everywhere, you know, it's better that you lowered it or disabled it, in my opinion. It's just an element where I don't necessarily like to have to manage the security guards myself, especially on a big, giant, wide open park like this. So I actually appreciate that it's not too big of a concern. But it would have worked either way.
Yeah, and I think that's the only thing I've like messed with when it comes to the guests and employee. Also that the vendors don't they can take a lot more. They can take a lot of stress. Like they don't quit too much.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah, because I hate that personally when I play myself.
Trying to figure out, yeah,
yeah,
why they're quitting, where they're quitting. Yeah, it's one of those things that, depending on your playstyle, if you want to manage it or not, I find it's more annoying. That's how I feel about the security guards as well. But it is a nice level to have there. But I think it's better to do that kind of stuff on smaller parks. Your park is big and open and end to end, which when you're managing all those small things, I feel like it's better to do that in a compact map.
Yeah, that is true. And I also I think I only closed I locked down the stations, so you can still make and the bridges of course, but the track that goes from the stations to the bridges, you can change that yourself. So it's not like the railroad I made is the one permanent. You have to have.
Right.
Yeah.
So if you want to add a few more stops in, you can do that.
Yeah, exactly.
Perfect. And you can always build your own second transport ride. So
that too.
You know what would be really awesome is if they added chairlifts. Because
yeah,
that would have been a really good one for yours. A chairlift that takes you up to your Vista point.
That would be cool.
All right, and there you go. There's the main attraction. And as for those in the contest, we said it could be anything you want in terms of log flume, transport ride, coaster. We're not necessarily we're not going to be scoring the transport rides or whatever on an excitement rating, but we have a few points to hand out there. So it's not like the end all be all if you made an awesome coaster or not. I think someone that made an amazing coaster would end up having a similar score to even Wikz's circle loop. You know what I mean? We're not putting heavy emphasis on how awesome your ride was, but we're putting the emphasis on how well was your ride themed to your scenario. And in Wikz's case, he nailed it. This is a 3 out of 3 for me because it was a fun journey, and it takes you through these gorgeous areas, and your scenario is all about the nature walk and the nature ride. But yeah, while you have some empty areas here, that's for the designer to come up with. So this attraction is going to be even better in the future when someone decides to play your scenario. You're going to add things in here, they're going to add stuff all along here, and then coming back and giving that a ride, it's going to be much more fun when your whole scenario is completed. So I'm looking forward to someone playing this, and we'll have to go, if we see someone play it, we're going to have to check it out and see what they did to your scenario, because there's a lot of area to build here, and I think you can make a pretty darn awesome, big popular park with all this space that you've given people.
Yeah, I mean that was my goal, and that's also why I kept some of the areas a little bit plain, because I mean, in the long, when it comes to it, a lot of the builders, they're like, yeah, like you do now, they can just remove it that quick.
And I have the ability to terraform on your scenario, so if I really want, I could come in here and add another section to the park way in the back. And what would be cool is having the boat transport ride take you underneath this bridge from over here. So if you guys are thinking about playing a scenario, you could have a little boat dock, and then a tugboat takes you over through here, and then all the way up into your expanded area over here. And they get off here, they get on there, they come back over here. That'd be a cool little way to work around it. I can see myself playing this scenario. It seems very fun to me. I like the nature style parks from RCT and stuff. I found those ones to be the most fun. The ones that have these nice lakes and things to build around. I like being challenged by the terrain and expanding from the terrain. I really love these little areas because you don't feel like overwhelmed. You're like, okay, I can fill this area up, and you start small. Or maybe even over here, I'm gonna fill this area up, and you start small, and then you just kind of keep expanding, and keep growing. And it's always fun seeing certain areas populate, all the guests coming off here, and seeing how many guests you can get in this little area of the park. And for me, those are the most fun ones where you are expansive. And that's the ones that I personally like. So I'm very happy with your scenario, and I think it would be a ton of fun to play.
I appreciate that.
Yeah.
Maybe one day I will take the challenge myself and see what I can do on this park myself.
You play your own scenario?
Yeah, just to.
Yeah, that might be fun.
Maybe just build further onto it, something like that.
If you do end up playing your own scenario, we could do a park spotlight revisit. That might be kind of cool.
Oh yeah, that would be cool.
All right, awesome. So we also have a scenario from Lauren. She's also one of our guest judges on the contest, and we'll be featuring her park or her scenario up next. So stay tuned for the next scenario spotlight, guys. And do you have anything else you want to add to your scenario here?
I think we got it all. I think we covered it all. So.
Cool. So there you go, guys. This is Sherwood Forest, created by Wikz. Links will be down in the description below. Come go over, give it a rating, and download it, and give it a try for yourself. And drop them a comment. Maybe show them how it goes if you decide to build a park on it. We would be very curious to see whoever finishes a park on it first. Maybe we'll visit that and check it out.
Yeah, definitely. That would be awesome.
I think so. So if you do end up playing his scenario through and through, beating all the objectives and filling up the real estate, drop a link in his workshop so we can subscribe to it and check it out. Maybe we'll do a video on it. Me and Wikz will see whoever beat his park. That'd be fun.
Yeah, that would be so fun. I like that.
All right. So thank you so much for being my guest today, Wikz, on the first ever Scenario Spotlight.
Yeah, thank you for having me, Johnny.
Anytime.
It was fun.
All right, there you go, everybody. That's going to do it for this episode of Scenario Spotlight. If you guys enjoyed, please be sure to smash that like button. If you're new to the channel, subscribe for more daily Planet Coaster videos. If you would like to support the show to keep it going, you can do so by becoming a patron. All right, everybody, thank you so much for watching, and I hope you all have a wonderful day, as well as you, Wikz.
Thank you. You too.
Yeah, thank you. And we'll see you all in the next video. Bye now.
Bye.